Hey everybody, brief private baseball video today because it's a brief day. There are only 5 games, and I'm not going to be available to follow these games or really help out today. I'm going to be out of commission until most of the day until late tonight, really. So I wanted to get this out to those who read the file and are updating stuff and everything. So 5 games, and the first thing I'm noticing is under the combination string 488 that I used yesterday. I believe I used that yesterday. Had a pretty good day yesterday at 9-7, and a lot of the teams up top won, including the Yankees coming back to win in the ninth inning, making the pick of the day win. Good for them. Thank you, Yankees. Even though it looked like they weren't going to get there. Anyway, so the first thing I noticed is all 5 of these teams are, of course, favorites or very close to being favorites. This is a pick'em game with Texas and Detroit, it looks like, and the same thing with Cleveland and Boston. So we don't have any underdog lines or any positive lines. You'll start to not get surprised seeing that with the algorithm every day. But is there anything to play? Well, first of all, you see how there's this 22% margins on these games, Tampa Bay and the Cubs. So if there are going to be two big teams to play, it's going to be these ones. Texas is also actually okay at 11% against Detroit. This Cleveland Boston game could go either way. And the San Francisco game is actually not good for the line. And if there's a team that you don't play on this list, it's probably San Francisco. They're too far down on this list. But let's go and look at each game by game here, just to get any additional information and really handicap the games appropriately. So Texas over Detroit, number 3 pick of the day. Jack Leiter is a AAA pitcher, though, everybody. He has not pitched in the majors. He's coming up from the minor leagues. So these stats are not professional stats. Kenta Maeda has not pitched well this year. He's 0-1 and has an ERA of 6. And he's pitched 3 starts. Detroit's lineup factor is worse. So there are a lot of factors in favor of Texas, but some of those stats are kind of suspect because it's a AAA pitcher. But the lineup, the BABIP, the runs that Texas usually puts up per game would put them over the top here. So as a straight bet, they're probably on your straight bet list. They're going to probably win more than 50% of the time. Even though they've got a AAA pitcher, his stats are still okay. They're okay at AAA. So not a great pick, but an okay pick. Angels and Tampa Bay. Algorithm had the Angels yesterday and they did win. Today it has Tampa Bay as number 1. Ton of runs, 9-4. Ryan Pepiot, he's going, and the reason why they're favored so heavily over the Angels is because Griffin Canning has an ERA of almost 10 and is 0-2. And even though the lineup factor is not really all that in favor of anybody, it's kind of tied. Tampa Bay will generally get more runs this year. Actually, that's not even true. Watch this game go a little lower scoring than this because the lineups are not strong. Look at these lineups are right middle of the road, kind of weak. Like you want to see a lineup that's 3 or closing in on 3 or higher. So this game actually probably doesn't have a ton of runs. Tampa Bay probably wins it though, but I mean, I don't know. It's a tough day. Short days are really tough. It does say that if Griffin Canning doesn't show up and have a good start, that Tampa Bay will score runs on him early, even though they don't hit the ball all that well. They're kind of okay. I'm surprised to see this average runs 4 per game is less for Tampa Bay than the Angels. That's weird. And they're giving up more also. I'm confused about this game. I actually don't think that this should be number 1. You're putting too much faith on Griffin Canning having a bad start where he pitches almost 4 innings, that they have to really knock him around in order to get those runs that they need. And that may not happen because their lineup factor is not great. It's okay. Anyway, Cleveland and Boston, too close to call. Barely says Cleveland. Carrasco a little bit better than Criswell. Cleveland hitting the ball a little bit better. Cleveland's lineup factor is better. Cleveland probably wins this game, actually. The more I look at that. Miami and the Cubs. Cubs, number 2, putting up 8 runs. Jameson Taillon hasn't pitched since last year. That's a problem. AJ Puke, whatever his name is. He's not pitching like vomit, but he's certainly pitching like regurgitating. He's not doing great with an ERA of over 6. Notice that Miami's lineup factor is miserable, worst on this list. So they have trouble putting up runs. That means you can get a game where the Cubs actually win and you hit the under because Miami doesn't score any runs at all, or very few. So it's probably the Cubs. They say they're the number 2 pick of the day. And there's a lot confirming that both in lineup factor, average runs, and also the pitching situation of who they're going against with Miami. Arizona, San Francisco says San Francisco because Logan Webb's a pretty good pitcher, better than Ryan Nelson. However, Arizona's lineup factor is better. Arizona puts up more runs per game. And Ryan Nelson does have a win. So I see why it's the 4th pick because Arizona is actually not that bad of a team. I know these team power percentages are all screwed up because of the distribution we're using. But anyway, you want a hard answer for me about what to do? I don't know. It's a short day. I really don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing clear cut like there was the last few days where it was, take Atlanta, take the Yankees. There isn't a game where a team's completely even money and it looks great. Like Texas probably wins this game. Notice their team power is positive. Like there's some things about this Texas game. Like where do we have something that's not in favor of Texas? Okay. Oh, with the fact that it's a AAA pitcher, actually, that's why. And you don't know how he's going to perform in the majors. No, it's a tough day. It's a really tough day. That's why they're only minus 106 because you've got an untested professional pitcher. So I wish I could give you better advice for a day like today, but it's just such a short day that, I mean, you could just try taking all these teams to win. I don't think they all will, which means they probably all will. But I don't think they will. I think that your stuff's too close down here, and you got AAA pitcher and pitcher that hasn't pitched since 2023, and a lot of issues and problems in here. So sorry to not give you a great pick of the day today, but that's kind of the news. Yeah, I gotta run. I got other stuff going on today, but we'll be back tomorrow on Friday with a fuller video. All right. Good luck, me all your picks be winning.